I have to keep these two mics at the same level, so you're just gonna have to make sure you get real close.
Yep.
But yeah, it was a little hot on my
network security key. 1, 2, 3.
Capital T. 219732. Lowercase d. Bingo.
I'm gonna need you to repeat all that in a moment.
That was my.
That was the one and only chance. Sorry.
That was my Best Buy employee number. 219732. I'll never forget it because I type it in every time.
Okay, hold on. It was capital T. What?
Oh, you fucked it. Oh wait, I'm wrong. It was. Sorry. It's actually my high school student ID, but it's still capital T and then 350603.
That's it.
D.
Lowercase d.
Yeah.
Oh, because Tony Diotel.
You gotta sandwich it.
Capital T 350603 lowercase d.
I wanted to wear my room thing, but it's too hot.
I can turn the AC off.
It's too hot, Tony.
Alright, fine. We're streaming right now. Just FYI.
So watch your language.
I'm not allowed to curse on YouTube.
Wouldn't want the FCC to come down on us.
Is that an actual thing?
No. I mean, the FCC is an actual thing. They're not watching this. What do you mean? Don't give me that look. You asked me if it was an actual thing.
Yeah. Are we not allowed to curse? Is what I mean.
Did you watch the last episode?
Kind of.
It was like
tits off.
the Sailor
Curse
podcast.
your
We have a
tits
Sailor
off.
podcast.
Come on, dude.
Curse those tits off.
Curse them.
All right.
Curse those
You're
tits.
gonna get that. Talking to the side.
You're gonna need to get it. You're gonna need to get it up in your grill.
What? Don't be afraid to. Really
Up in your
get
fucking grill.
Testing.
There you go.
Test my ass.
I don't want to test your ass.
That's gross.
Test out my ass.
Yikes.
Shut up.
I haven't had it. This is the first beer I've had.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I wish you were still in class. Jesus.
The class before us
Jesus Christ.
fucked up the system and didn't clean it, so they fucked up our brew today.
Who's the instructor? They should be reamed.
No, it's the class before us.
I love how Alex's team name is still Peyton's Neck.
Hey, it's a timeless team name if there ever was one.
Okay. Do you guys want to know the quarterback, or do you want me to come up with one so you guys can guess?
No, we have to guess.
Fuck, I don't have any. Okay.
This guy's so unprepared. I did all this work.
Dude, I
did all this
have
work.
no time.
I am so busy, and he's over here with nothing to do. It's fucking bullshit, honestly. It's great. It's just straight bullshit.
It is 9:30, by the way.
Yeah, I know. But,
Are we
you know.
going?
Hoyer with a dime over the middle of the field. Also, can we pull up the YouTube comments as we are watching this?
I will pull them up and let you know because I don't want to have all of us streaming it and just taking up all that bandwidth because it's really, since we're also streaming this game and also sending this stream out. But yeah, I think. Okay. Aaron says sick Lakers jersey. That's all you got to say about that?
Nothing else.
All right, we're just getting situated here, folks. Bear with us. Call this the pre-show.
Pre-show. Like for 15 more minutes, maybe. Just give me some time.
Since Gator was unprepared for this. Meanwhile, I have a whole new segment that I have prepared with visual aids.
Nice.
I've not prepared anything.
Well, that's good because you're the most prepared just by knowing about football, which we don't know anything about.
Right.
So
True.
Austin's gonna bring some actual knowledge to the podcast, other than what we just make up.
yeah, that'll bring a nice new element to the podcast of that, the actual factual information.
Okay. I gotta do it real quick.
This 3-mic setup is ghetto as fuck.
Shout out to ourselves.
But hey, it works. It works, and you have to invest no money into it. Except for that camera that I had to buy. That's alright, because I wanted one anyway, and it's for a good cause. so that little children in Africa can watch our podcast.
I mean, that's what we do it for, is the children in Africa.
That's what I do everything for.
I do it for my mother and for the children in Africa.
And I do it for the culture, too.
And for the culture.
Mostly for the culture.
But sometimes for my mom and sometimes for the children in Africa.
Shout out, Mom.
Shout out.
What up, Stove?
Shouts outs to moms.
Man, your boy Hoyer, it's going off.
No.
He's got a lot of yards.
Fuck me.
I mean, he has 136 yards in the first half. It's not like he's got like 200 or something, but... What do you guys usually have pulled up?
Like
Step flop.
Gator's trying to plug his website already in the free show. Usually I'll have like the standings and like who everyone picked last week. I also pull up like the box scores for all the games last week and the schedule for next week, because these are all things that I don't know off the top of my head, unfortunately.
Did you guys see the news about Aaron Hernandez having advanced stages of CTE?
I did see that.
It's pretty wild. Yeah, so I guess he was in stage 3, which is...
We can definitely talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
We don't want to spoil it in the
All right.
pre-show.
We won't spoil
Pre-show
it. We'll
should
talk
be
about it.
About interaction with Aaron, and he says, "Please do us a favor and turn Gator's mic all the way down,"
He can barely hear me from here.
which I think is a decent suggestion.
Top five.
I mean, Aaron, you already have Gator completely out of the shot right now, which should be something that at least gives you some consolation.
You have to consider that a win for all parties.
I would.
But, I guess I don't make the rules either, so.
Eat dick.
Yeah, you're just the guest.
Ask nicely.
Probably couldn't hear you because the mic's so far away.
Yeah.
Eat the dick. I'm tracing real sloppy. Real sloppy.
That's fine.
Well, how are we supposed to guess?
I don't know. You gotta be good. This
The clues are... Yeah, and you don't have
I
any
had
clues.
0 clues.
What's the fucking point then, dude?
I have 0
Oh,
clues.
this is
Okay, I've got clues, but not...
This is a disaster.
No, I don't really have many clues. I
What a
don't
mess.
have clues.
What a straight mess.
So, when you're right here, how do you see who everybody picked?
You have to go to their page. Actually, the way I'm doing it now is if you just go to transactions, you can see who everyone added for the week, and then it's right there. You can click on the info on the same page and pull up how much points they scored as well. I used to go to each page individually, and then I just realized that today that you could just do transactions. So, getting better one podcast at a time. It's always the goal here at the 3-step flop.
Come up with some clues.
Aaron, it says he's number one fan.
With an A?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Commission's number 1 fan.
Well, I don't see Commission in the chat right now, so maybe
we love all of our fans.
Maybe he's gonna lose the title.
Shout out to all of our fans.
Shout out to the many thousands and thousands of fans. I'm sure there's some carried over from the Tip Top 5 podcast.
Did you send this out in the group me or anything?
No.
The link?
Maybe I should do that.
Yeah, that might help.
I'd probably get some. I should probably make sure. Well,
How did Aaron get the link?
he's probably subscribed and it came up in his. I don't know.
Oh, then he is the number 1 fan.
I would actually be really surprised if he was subscribed.
Hey, Aaron, are you subscribed?
We can ask him because the beauty of the internet.
It's like a thing. It's like the internet. You can talk. It's pretty cool.
if I can change the title during the show. I was refreshing every 10 seconds. Of course, I'm subscribed. Geek. He's calling us geeks.
Of course. I've got him all traced out.
Yes, John, we're 22 minutes late. You can blame that on Gator for going to grad school. Or not grad school. Whatever school you're in.
Yeah, it's kind of grad school.
Second college. But I got you beat because I went to 3 colleges.
Oh.
Suck it, dude.
But how many degrees you got?
I got 2 from 2 different colleges, bitch.
Oh.
Do you really? Oh,
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. We don't have to talk about it, but we can say that I do. How would I know how to do this shit if I didn't go to UC?
I thought you said that we weren't going to talk about it.
I mean, if we want to...
We can talk about it, but I thought you said we weren't going to talk about it.
We can if you guys want to. I'd be glad to show you some of my projects from UC.
Okay, I don't want to talk about it now.
All right. That's what I thought.
We're super close here. We're super close.
You know, what's not close is Gator's mouth to the microphone.
We're very close, folks. Get ready.
Got him. Sorry, I gotta get another beer anyway. This game's actually been entertaining. Maybe I should
Yeah, remember that
take back
time?
my words.
Remember that time I told you that it might be once?
But the only reason I say entertaining is because
They've scored touchdowns?
well,
Yes,
that and they're close in points. Like I've watched 2 Bengals games that have just literally from the gun have not been close in any capacity.
Bengals versus Texans was close.
I
It was
mean,
just shitty.
the score looked close, but it really wasn't that close.
Or it was close.
It didn't feel close from the stands.
Hey, but it was. That's the sad part about it.
Oh, Brian is here. Hello, Brian. Hello, Commissioner.
Saw, dude.
Evening, Commissioner. Get it? The reference?
I'm like sweating over here, dog.
Oh, my God. All right, I'll increase my energy bill.
Please. Increase it more. Are we just waiting on you?
I guess.
Cool.
I'm almost done. Ah, shit. Made a mistake.
Lauren is here too, and she is offended she was not acknowledged. Well,
Oh,
let me ask you this: how am I supposed to know she's here, Brian?
Great question, John.
But, Lauren, we do love you.
We do love you, Lauren. The fact that any female watches any 1 second of this is astounding and amazing for us because it means that girls like us.
Oh, dude.
Okay. How about now? We working? We good? We working today? We working today. That's a reference to a very old Pete Holmes podcast that no one's going to get. Maybe Brian will. Probably not. Okay. Now we're working. We working? We good? We working today? Don't text me and tell me you can't. I'm on top of this, dude. Don't text me and Aaron texts me and says he can't hear. I appreciate it, but as producer, I'm way ahead of this stuff, all right?
Aaron, just relax. We got it.
I'm on top of this. Don't text me. Okay. Oh, Brian does get the reference. Johnny Pemberton. I love that man.
I got it. I'm just going to upload it to Drive and share to you, and then we're good. So we can go on.
Great. We're about to get started here. This commercial makes me want to cry, by the way. You seen this shit? With the golden retriever? And he comes out with the lion? Yeah. It's a little baby.
You have the most annoying text message notification. Sounds like a fax is coming through.
Yeah.
Ew.
But it's because everyone has that ding, the iPhone ding, that everybody has.
Yeah, you can change it to something else that's less.
Yeah,
shitty.
this one's less intrusive than all the other ones in there. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you.
Sounds terrible.
I like it. I think it sounds cool.
It sucks. But hey, it's your phone, so you can do whatever you want. It's the beauty of living in America.
Thank you. I like it. I think it sounds cool. Okay. All right. The audio's work. I don't. You guys keep talking shit. We're off to a great start. I think the audio's working.
Who's talking shit?
Everyone. I'm just getting shit talked over here.
All right. You got this. We're good to go.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Less shit.
Austin is inaudible. Is that for real? Everyone. I'm just getting shit talked over here. Oh no.
My mic's not working?
We're testing here. Testing.
My mic's the only one that's working. God damn it.
Oh, so who we waiting on now? Who we waiting on now? Who we waiting on now?
Boo.
Boo. Hey, I remember. Everyone text Tony and tell him that it's not working.
I don't
Where's
understand.
my phone?
I ate it.
Fuck.
All right, let's give this a shot. Austin, start talking.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
No, that's not working.
Test that, bitch. Test this.
Okay, now Austin, start talking.
Hey, can you hear me?
Okay, I think
Can
we're
you
good
hear
now.
this?
Cool beans.
Now
Let's
we
do
can
it.
hear this. Everybody suck a dick. This is really quiet. And this is really loud.
Oh my god.
All right.
I'm sorry. You
Hello,
had to listen to
everyone.
that.
And welcome to the 3-Step Flop. My name is Gator Strand. Anyone else want to introduce themselves?
I'm Tony Deal.
All right.
I'm just a guy.
Just a guy. We're here with Austin Rabah, the clearly the most intellectual sports fan in the room.
Yeah, that's true.
Clearly.
Clearly, we brought him on because last week we got a lot of shit for not knowing anything about anything.
And shit that we definitely deserved. Let's
Yeah.
just add that.
Absolutely. So since we're running late, let's kick things off and let's get things started, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, last week was a really high-scoring week for a lot of people.
Except for me, of course.
Except for Austin, of course.
Don't worry about me, though.
The average was 16.35 points, which was actually right on par with week one, but it felt like a lot more... Oh, fuckers.
Well, what am I supposed to do about it, dude?
Well, anyway.
Host the show.
Anyway.
The show.
So we have who's that QB again this week? I had to. That's why we're running late. I had to scrounge that shit up.
That's why.
That's
Not
part of the
any other
reason why. Anyway, let's start with the top of last week with Drew. Who did Drew pick last week, guys?
Oh shit, I'm not ready for this shit, dude.
Oh my God, guys.
Dead air. This is dead air right now. This is absolutely
Wonderful.
Is he Beats by Ray?
Yes, he is. That's him.
He picked Brian Hoyer last week.
Okay.
Hoyer. Okay, wonderful choice. I thought, especially tonight since I got him tonight. But that doesn't seem to be going well for me tonight.
No, sir.
How did Hoyer score last week?
He had 20.02 points,
Which is great.
Great. Legendarily, he threw for he played 4 quarters and threw for under 100 yards.
That's fantastic.
That has to be some sort of record.
Those are bad QB Hall of Fame numbers. He's trying to get there.
Through the first 2.5 games of the year, he has thrown 3 interceptions and 0 touchdowns.
I think, and he cracked 20 points both of the last 2 weeks, which I think is that's a good metric to have. If you're a guy who's constantly cracking 20 points, you're a guy who's probably going to be drafted pretty high in the order.
That's why he was a hot topic for this Thursday night game.
Oh, yeah.
We had like 4 or 5 likes on him, which we are currently watching right now.
Yeah, it's 17-13, heading into almost. It looks like the Rams are about to score again. So
yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that. We'll give you some updates, although I'm sure you're watching.
Oh my God!
Anyway,
sir, that's going to be a helmet-to-helmet hit.
He just got CTE as we were watching.
You're not allowed.
So
to do
Drew
that.
Hoyer was a great choice. I think he will be in the future. Who are they playing next week? Who's Hoyer playing next week?
At Arizona.
How do you feel about that, Austin? As a guy who watches football.
In terms of how do I think that he's going to do?
Yeah.
Cardinals have a really good defense, usually, except this year the Cardinals have kind of seems like they've taken a step or maybe 3 steps back, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Losing their star running back, right?
Yeah,
on both sides of the ball, yeah.
Yeah, they definitely lost their running back on both sides of the ball. That's correct.
No, I meant no.
Who'd they lose on defense?
Fuck you guys. This is why Austin's here.
Did they lose on defense?
That's not what I meant.
I don't know who they lost on defense, but I do know.
I meant they're doing bad on both sides of the ball, not just.
Okay.
Yes, poorly.
They've taken 3 steps back
That's what
on both
happens when you
sides
eat
of the ball.
Hawaiian pizza. Your brain just turns.
Dude,
to
I'm running late, man.
Idiot.
Okay, let's move on. You had the next pick, Austin.
Yeah,
who'd you take?
I picked Josh McCown, and that's not spelled with an A. I found out.
Right.
By the way.
I thought that was a typo or something.
I've literally never picked him before. I don't think, and
So
if
you
I
spelled it
have,
like Maccown?
McCowan.
Yeah, like McCowan.
Oh, by the way, what was your nickname? We didn't go over nicknames.
I don't remember what the nicknames
Oh,
were.
never made it to Pound Town. Wasn't it? That
yeah,
was
Josh never made it to Pound
Like
Town
he's a
McCown.
virgin?
Yeah, get it?
Got it.
That's Pound Town means.
it. Got it.
I think
Means
that-
like he had sex with a girl,
I
or
think-
maybe a guy. I don't know.
I think making fun of people who don't have regular sex is a really funny, hilarious thing to do. Personally,
Hey, I agree.
always think that's funny.
Me too.
So-
I'm
Hey.
always thinking like, what a freaking loser. Who even is that guy?
Comedy is drawn from self-experience. So
Just as a quick time out to look at the chat, Brian says Gator is a tomato, and Taylor agreed by saying literally so
shit,
red.
yeah,
You look very allergic right now.
yeah, a little bit. Mm-hmm.
It
Fucking
could also be
freak.
to the temperature, which you've been complaining about
Yeah.
since you walked in.
Well, the stress of getting the who's that QB together was
Yeah, you
really.
had to do a hasty
Dude,
Photoshop
I'm
job, which I
sweating.
will say, I'm looking at the slide right now.
It's
Not bad.
It's choppy.
Yeah,
Not bad.
It's choppy.
Slightly above
But
average.
at least around the head and in the ears and
We'll get
everything.
there. We'll get
Yeah.
there. We'll get there.
We'll preview.
So yeah, McCown. I don't doubt you for picking McCown. I don't blame you
Man,
for
he
picking
had, he had
McCown.
25 projected points. I usually feel like those are at least good benchmarks to go off of. Apparently not.
I think Yahoo has no idea what it's doing when it comes to our league.
Oh,
They-
well, of course not, because it doesn't make any sense with their algorithm.
Right.
Their algorithm is not. It's not really been adjusted for our league yet. Eventually, it will when our league catches on.
Yeah, worldwide.
But also
Worldwide, World Star.
You got McCown on the road, second straight road game, and they're playing in Oakland, all the way across the country. That's a slam dunk pick in my view.
And the Jets, how bad? Like,
Real bad.
literally,
Jets might be one
how
of the worst
bad?
teams ever. But you know what? They've scored a lot more points than the Bengals.
True.
Who are the Jets playing this week?
Jets are home against the Miami Dolphins and Alex Evdecu's favorite quarterback,
I might
Smoking Jay.
I might
Cutler.
actually avoid McCown this week.
Whoa.
Bare
Really?
naked
Hot
ass
take.
Jay Cutler.
Hot take. Over
I mean,
here.
well, I've already made my pick, but if
Oh, true.
I'm making a
Yeah,
pick,
so
then
literally your opinion doesn't matter.
I'm just
would-
gonna leave,
I
guys.
would agree.
All right, it's been good.
All right, glad we cleared that up.
All right, let's move on to Tom. Yeah, Tom was next, who went with Deshaun Knucklehead Kaiser.
First of all, Tom, fuck you, because I had Deshaun Kaiser in my actual fantasy league, and he got me, I think, -1. So
Yeah. Well, 16 incompletions, 182 yards, and 3 picks.
casual 3 picks.
We thought he was going to get some injury points, but he ended up coming back in from his migraine,
Yeah.
and that played out better for Tom.
So
because
let me ask a scoring question, and if you guys don't know this, hopefully Kamish can weigh in on it. If he gets injured and then comes back in the next quarter, you
they're
get
all
nothing.
wiped.
So if he gets injured in the first, comes in back in the fourth, you get nothing.
They're-
yeah,
Yep.
because that means he's not a pussy.
I agree. No, I'm not.
You gotta be.
I'm not disagreeing or saying that's a bad rule. I think that's a good rule. I agree with that.
Yeah, they're all wiped.
Okay.
As which we were like, oh, awesome. He's back in. Tom's not going to get those extra 8 points, and then he gets like 20 more after coming back in. So.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say that I just now realized that his name's Deshaun Kaiser, and I thought it was Deshaun. So
Deshaun.
I would like to get some clarification as how to say that, because there's a Deshaun Watson, obviously, who spells his name similar but slightly different, and it's pronounced
Commish,
differently.
you want to weigh in on
yeah,
that?
you like that shitty Browns team. How do you say it?
Yeah. Anyway, while we wait for that delay to come in, who the Browns got this week?
They are at the Indianapolis Colts, who
Another
are
shitty shit
also one of the worst 5 teams in the NFL by far.
But they do have Jacoby Brissett at the helm, no longer Scott Tolzien.
A.K.A.
unfortunately.
Jacoby Brisket.
Yes.
Perfect transition.
Jakey Brits.
Jakey
as I call
Brits.
him.
Aaron, who was next, took Jacoby Missit Brissett.
Yes. 5 out of 10 on the nickname.
Yeah.
It's decent.
It's Brissett.
Yeah,
Missit, Brissett.
So you have to pronounce it Misset,
Misset.
which doesn't make sense.
No.
Yeah, it sounds French.
So bad. 4 out of 10.
Bad.
3 out of 10.
You are losing points.
And how
As
did
we
Aaron do
However,
last
despite
week?
the poor nickname, put up 28.68 on the board. 17 incompletions, 216 yards. 1 interception. I'm assuming there were some sacks in there, but Yahoo's not giving me that information.
And I remember watching Brissett take over for Brady and actually doing pretty well for New England
he was
last year.
competent.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you play for Bill Belichick. He could literally throw a blind person out there, and they would throw for 300 yards with no questions asked. So
Exactly.
tell me I'm wrong.
I mean,
Tell me I'm wrong.
you're 100%
Tell
right.
me I'm wrong.
And we'll see something. I mean, like when Jimmy G becomes the quarterback in 2024 when Tom Brady retires.
Yeah, he might.
Nope.
I think Jimmy Garoppolo might retire before Tom Brady.
I think that could happen. Honestly.
I think that's a literal thing that might happen.
Do you pick Brissett going up against the Browns next week?
Well, in our 12-team league,
Yeah.
someone's going to take him for
You
sure.
think so?
This is the only league that matters. Let me just interject and say this is the only.
Yeah,
league that
don't
matters.
start with your bullshit. Oh,
Okay,
in my other league.
All right, okay, listen. Here's the deal. When I made that comment, I meant since we went from 10 to 12 teams.
Okay.
So the league has to be deeper.
All right.
Jacoby Brissett has to be taken in the first 12 picks.
Even going against the Browns.
Going against any team.
All right. Wow. All right.
Going against
You heard it
St.
here
Rita's
first.
School for the Blind and Poor.
Hot takes from
Just
Austin.
for clarification, Brian says you pronounce it Deshaun.
Deshaun. Got it.
Deshaun basketball.
He says
Kaiser.
K-Iser, but I think he means
Like the roll.
Kaiser roll. Yeah, Kaiser roll. Like it's a Jewish thing, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. Why'd you look at me when you said that?
Ciabatta
Because you
bread.
know about the Jews more than I do. We were just talking about the Hasidic Jews before this podcast started, by the way.
Oh, yeah. We're not going to
Wow.
go down
Let's
this
move
rabbit
on
hole.
from that. Yeah.
Hey, sometimes I like to veer us off onto interesting paths, but if you guys want to go back to football, I guess we'll have to do that.
So John was next. He went with long necks Glennon.
And let's just be clear, he does have a very long neck.
He does, but that was already mentioned last week.
I mean, that's true. Maybe point out just how some other weird thing about his appearance. He has a big nose. He's got a real long face.
Also, his Adam's apple looks like he actually has an apple lodged in his throat. That's another one.
I heard that he
good one.
does, actually. There was a big story on Deadspin all about how he swallowed an apple when he was very, very young.
And it just got stuck there, huh?
They haven't been able to figure it out.
That's pretty
but he
chill.
has a very wide esophagus, so he's able to
He can
breathe
handle
just
it.
fine. Yeah,
He can
it's
handle
actually
that.
not a problem. Doctors have recommended that he just continue to live out his days. So
That's pretty chill.
hey, it was on the
Right.
internet.
So how did he score?
16 incompletions. He threw 45 times, and he threw 40 times in week 1. So he's throwing a fuck ton.
So let me ask this question: how is it that a quarterback throws for 301 yards in our league and still scores 25 points?
Well,
and
Was
my
that Glennon?
quarterback scores 8 points and throws for like less than 250.
let me answer that for you. So he threw 2 picks. You're right.
Oh, the
He
pick
did-
six
he did
too.
Okay, he did throw a pick 6. He also lost a fumble, which is going to be 4 additional points. So
Yep.
you got to also take into account that although he did only get sacked once on 45 dropbacks. So maybe that means that the Chicago offensive line's pretty good. I don't know. I didn't watch that game. But if you only get sacked once out of 45 pass attempts, that's trouble for this league. You want those sacks. You want 6 or 7 sacks.
But even with all that protection, he still got 16 incompletions. So that speaks to Glennon himself. As he's not pressured.
True. So in a way, if they face a defense who actually will put pressure on them, you could see 40, 50 point totals pretty quickly.
Yeah, just imagine if they played somebody good like this week when they play the Steelers.
Oh yeah, it could actually be a shit show.
Yeah,
Glennon's gonna be a good choice.
Glennon will be definitely one of the top few quarterbacks taken out. Imagine
I'm going top 4.
top 4. Hey, he might be somebody I would consider since I'm in the top 4.
Right.
Just want to say, head back to the chat here just for a brief moment.
Let's do it.
Taylor says, "Take your shirt off." I'm not sure who she's referring to, but I will say that I certainly will not be doing that.
It ain't me. She ain't talking about me, boys.
Well, I think by process of elimination we
Speaking
figured it out.
Of Taylor. She took Sandy Dalton.
Sandy though,
Thursday night game.
which
Sandy Andy.
I think is a little bit, I don't know, sexist. Is she implying that his name's Sandy Dalton because he's a girl and girls are bad at sports?
What does that even mean?
Maybe.
Oh, because
I think that's wrong, personally. I don't like to have that kind of misogyny around my life.
But if it's coming from a girl, she can say what she wants.
Is that how it works?
It's like
Yeah,
you
I
can't say it, but I can say it.
oh,
You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. You can't say
I don't
it.
agree with that still.
Like, I can say the N-word, but Austin can't.
No, right. Exactly.
exactly like
Clearly
that.
more black.
Yeah, of course. Okay,
Than
I get it. I take it back. You're totally right.
Right.
All right, so Andy Dalton, of course, as we all watched.
Yeah, he sucks dick.
He does.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about. I think we need to talk
Let's
about
talk
this.
about it. What's the problem here? What's going on?
This is the weekly Bengals
The
tangent.
15 minute.
Oh, okay.
The 15
all right.
minute Bengals diatribe.
So here's the thing with the Bengals. The Bengals, like, they think they know what they're doing, but they don't. And Marvin Lewis has thought that he has known what he was doing for a while now, and he just doesn't.
Yeah.
And he's still just there, and everyone's pissed. Everyone is pissed. Is anybody not pissed? Raise your hand if somebody is not pissed.
I would say Mike Brown is not pissed.
And that's the problem.
You're absolutely right, my friend.
And that is literally the exact problem. Because here we have a quarterback who the first 2 games literally looks like he could not start for Mason High School's junior varsity team. Maybe a slight stretch. Maybe not.
But he's made some absolutely egregious
I mean,
throws.
listen, man, we were at the game
Yeah.
on Thursday, and there was that third down, third and long
I already
near
know what you're talking
midfield, and he overthrows Brandon LaFell by dude, this
Like,
was like 10
you
yards.
Guys were, is this the sort of flat route that was thrown almost into where you guys were sitting in the stadium? Is that the one
my
that we're
God.
talking about?
No,
Because there
no,
were
it
so
wasn't
many.
that one.
It's just so many.
Yeah, so this was the one. It was like it was right at midfield, and Brandon LaFell, he ran kind of a double move, and he got past the corner and was streaking down the
Yeah,
sideline.
yeah, okay.
And there was not there. The safety was on the other side of the field. There was nobody there. All Dalton had to do was put it in the general vicinity of close to where he was running.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Of course.
Here we are. Couldn't do it. And on that play, he had perfect protection. No, that wasn't an issue.
Right,
So
and that's the thing.
the offensive line has taken a lot of grief, and for a good reason. But Andy Dalton's shit play is not because the offensive line hasn't
Right.
been doing their job.
I think that you're mostly right there. I think that there's definitely some blame to go around the entire offense, including the coaching staff. And me personally, I put a majority of it on the coaching staff because I've been on
1,000%
Marvin Lewis bandwagon for
1,000%
quite a while.
So
name the one constant thing about the Bengals in the last 15 years: their coaching staff.
So let me play the ESPN card real quick and bring up Kaepernick whenever I can.
Oh my God. Okay,
Here we
this
go.
story.
Yep.
This story.
That's all I needed to say.
All right.
This was a joke.
Who was
Mike Florio.
Mike Florio wants to work Kaepernick in a weekend where Kaepernick didn't come up for once. He says, "Oh look, the Bengals are having massive problems. Let's just float something out there that a team who has 2 competent quarterbacks on their roster is going to sign a guy who would be a media frenzy circus when they're already taking heat from the entire local and national media. Why the fuck would they ever do that? It makes there's no way he got any actual intel.
No,
That
he
was
was
totally
just making
made
stuff
up
up.
out of thin
There was
air.
some woman I was watching on Sports Nation.
Some woman.
I don't know what
one of
her
those
name is.
women.
I've never seen. Okay, so like I know a lot of the women sports anchors on ESPN because I watch a lot of ESPN.
Yeah.
I've never seen this woman on any show before once. She was on Sports Nation and she was like, I've heard some inside information from the Bengals locker room that Bengals players think AJ McCarron is a better quarterback. Bitch, no, you fucking didn't. Because guess how many times anyone has ever said that? 0 fucking times has anybody ever said that in the local media
So if-
or in the locker room.
So if AJ was on a different team, like maybe the Browns or maybe
like the Jacksonville Jaguars, which I'd like to segue to in a sec since we kind of are talking about Colin Kaepernick here.
Yes, he would start.
you think
Or
he
at
would?
least- he would at least make it a competition.
No, here's the
he
deal.
could start for some teams. in
So
the
here's
NFL,
the
for sure.
situation. The Jacksonville Jaguars just signed a quarterback. Did you hear about this?
No.
They just signed Ryan Nassib, who has thrown 7 total career NFL passes.
To be a third string or
Yeah, so they brought him in just in case something happens to Blake Bortles, like we fucking cut you because you suck so badly.
Because he's real bad.
Chad Henne is currently the Jacksonville Jaguars backup quarterback, who for some reason thinks he can be a starting quarterback in this league
Man, I
at the
can't believe
age of
he's still
30,
around.
whatever. Yeah, he's like 30 something. He's like,
played quite a few games for them.
yeah, he did before they had Bortles,
Right.
and he's been there ever since. Bortles has been there for the last 4 or 5 years. So
Was the last good just not to take you off your train of thought, but was the last good quarterback Jacksonville had? Who was that black running quarterback that they had for a while?
I don't remember.
Oh shit! What was his name? He took him to the playoffs.
Help
They
us
played
out
the Steelers
in the chat.
playoffs.
Oh my God. David Garrard.
Yeah, David Garrard. Was he the last good quarterback the Jacksonville Jaguars had?
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely
anyway,
the
sorry
last.
to derail you. Go on.
No, and so that is a team like Jacksonville is a team that should sign Colin Kaepernick way before a team like the Bengals.
Yeah, there's a lot of other
Because
teams,
because the Bengals, at least those two quarterbacks have proven a little something in the league.
Right.
Jacksonville's quarterbacks haven't done a damn thing.
No.
I would agree.
So
Okay, let's
Here
take
we
a
are.
quick break to check the chat here.
Let's do that.
Just to clarify on Taylor's nickname for Mike Glennon, she says she never picked his name. Someone put the nickname in the draft without her input. So she did not pick the name, allegedly.
Oh,
Blasphemy.
that must have been Brian. That must have been Brian.
Oh,
then.
so it was Brian. Okay, Brian says Marvin Lewis is an actual thought. Fair enough.
like a thought, as in like a
Like-
THOT.
like that hoe over
yeah,
there.
yeah, he is a hoe, a little bitch ass hoe.
Aaron says please be nicer.
Aaron,
Typical
I'm not.
Aaron.
Aaron, listen, your optimism sometimes is just too much.
And he also said
too much.
he also called us lefties, and he said Mark Brunell was the last good quarterback for Jacksonville.
David Garrard, I believe, played after Mark Brunell.
Yes, he did by quite a few, because I believe Mark Brunell was the first quarterback for the Jaguars when they became an expansion team.
Yes, that is true.
So I know shit. All right.
Good job, Tony.
All right,
Steve.
let's
Great
let's
job.
get moving here. We're about halfway through. Alex was next, and he went with Jay. Not even a hurricane can mess up his hair. Cutler.
Love it. It's topical.
That was pretty great.
It's a topical reference.
Lengthy middle name nicknames get me. They get me. How do
I
you
like
do?
the concise rhymes. I like concise rhymes.
Jay Cutler, terrible bad QB game. 4.4 points.
Yeah, just 8 incompletions, 331 yards, a touchdown, no picks.
331 yards, Dad. Where are you seeing that?
I'm looking at Phil Rivers,
Mm-hmm.
who he played against.
Because Jay Cutler had 230 yards.
Right.
Dad,
And he
come
had-
on, Dad.
He had 9 incompletions, but also no interceptions and just 2 sacks. So
Thank you.
it could have been worse. He took care of the ball. I mean,
Yeah.
no turnovers.
Yeah, and like, let's be honest, Jay Cutler's a legendary pick. Even if he gets you like negative 100, you still feel good about the pick.
Because you know that there could be a time at some point in the game where he just says, you know what, fuck it.
It's just literally just fuck this.
I'm just done.
I just don't even. Yeah, just I'm it. That's it. Sorry.
I'm just 100% done.
Out of here.
So,
See you later.
Yeah, I think I don't think the Dolphins are going to be all that great this year. The Chargers,
No
though,
chance.
they're the team of destiny in that they will just continue to lose heartbreaking games while the people of San Diego continue to celebrate their losses because of how pissed they are at how fucked they got for this entire move and all this shit. Like, fuck their owner. What's his name?
Don't care.
Spanish.
Old white rich man.
Yeah, he's an asshole. He wanted to move the team regardless of anybody's input. And now the people, there's like all these restaurants like offering like free whatever when like the Chargers lose and all this shit. Like they're offering like I saw one that was offering discounts every touchdown that is scored against the Chargers.
That's amazing.
Like it's great. I
the
love
the pettiness level is at like an all-time high.
and they deserve it. Like they
100%.
reason.
Could you imagine? Okay, so put yourself in their shoes. Could you imagine? First of all, if the Bengals left Cincinnati, who would want them? First of all,
I'm not even the biggest NFL follower, not the biggest Bengals fan. I'd be pissed.
Yeah,
we would all be pissed.
yeah, it would feel like a betrayal. I think.
Yeah, to say the least. And
I would not root for them. Of course, I would want them to lose every game after.
Yeah. I don't know what I would do in that situation. It would be really tough for me to just all of a sudden stop, right?
I would pick like an NFC team to root for.
Yeah, I mean, like I root for the Lions, as a lot of you know as
Yeah, there you
well,
go.
just because my dad's from Detroit and stuff. So I'd probably just start rooting for them a lot more. But
You know who I would?
I would
root
be
for?
super frustrated.
The Browns.
Nope.
Ew, why would you do that?
Exactly right.
Nope. Fuck them. All right. So next up, we've got Lauren with PM Me Your Fat Stafford, which I did not realize it at first, but it's a great nickname. It's a great nickname.
I think it's fantastic, especially because of Matt Stafford's frattiness, and he seems like the kind of guy who at one point has texted or DM'd his genitalia to
For sure.
to
He's
someone.
he's the next.
He literally did that like 5 minutes ago.
There are also some great photos of him partying. And stuff
Legendary
on the internet. They're
photos.
just fantastic.
And his wife is smoking hot.
Of course.
How did he do?
Terrible all around, actually. He only had 122 passing yards, but he only had 6 incompletions, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 5.5 points.
What a weird
roughly.
game.
Yeah, that's not good.
Very strange. The Lions were dominating the game for most of it. Also, the Lions have a newfound running game this year, which is an interesting development because their running backs always seem to get hurt and their offensive line always sucks. So the fact that the Lions have a running game this year, Stafford's not going to have to throw it a million times if they're winning the game anymore. So he might not get as many yards, many touchdowns as he has in that past, but I don't, he's a guy that I'd stay away from in this league personally. I wouldn't take him.
I agree.
He has the potential to go for some like 400-yard, 4-touchdown day.
Yep.
And he's also now the highest paid. Is he the highest paid player in the NFL now?
Yes.
Is that right?
Number one
What?
highest paid
Yeah,
player.
he got a big contract extension.
Dude,
right
that
before the
sounds
season
that's
started.
insane.
So yeah, he is the highest paid player in the
Over Tom
Everyone,
Brady,
over
over
everyone.
over literally
Aaron Rodgers.
every single player that you could name,
Even-
he's the highest paid.
NFL. Even Sebastian Janikowski.
Even Janikowski.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane. Who do they play next
he's
week?
a good player.
He is. He's a franchise quarterback. They play Atlanta this week at home.
In the dome.
The Lions and the Falcons going to be a really fun game to watch. A lot
It's
of
gonna be
points.
56
Yeah,
to
no one's
50.
no one's gonna pick any quarterback in that game.
don't. And as a suggestion,
Yeah,
don't.
No reason to pick either of those.
Really,
fellas.
it's going to be a really fun game to watch. Have we done Super Bowl predictions on the podcast
We
yet?
have not.
We should do that
Let's
because
do it. Go for it.
right now, huh? Okay.
Yeah, do it.
All right.
As good a time as any.
Okay, we can just interrupt in the middle of this.
Do it.
All right, so hot take, I guess. My prediction for the Super Bowl this year: Falcons versus Raiders.
Ooh.
Raiders.
The Raiders are going to finally.
Little
The
Derek,
Raiders.
Derek Carr fanboy over here.
Huge Derek Carr fan. He's on both of my fantasy teams. Has been on my D-Lo league for a few years now. Love me some Derek Carr. He's just a straight baller, man. He's
Yeah.
so good.
I mean, he used to
And-
be a household name in the Bag QB League
his
for
rookie
the
year,
first.
yeah.
Yeah. And that was, the Oakland had a bad team, and that's
Mm-hmm.
going to happen with a rookie quarterback. But Derek Carr is a baller, and that was a really sick catch if you're watching that Rams-Niners
Thanks
game.
for the shout out, letting us know, Brian, that happened because our stream went down and we weren't watching, but I just turned it on and we just saw that catch. So that was sick.
How did the Rams get 24? You missed that.
Yeah. Who picked Goff this week? Brian?
Goff?
Somebody did.
Goff
Yeah,
went
somebody.
undrafted. I
No,
No,
somebody
someone
hearted him.
picked. Someone picked him.
Oh, you mean for like tonight?
Yeah, tonight.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
2 hearts on him.
Beats
Drew-
by Ray.
Drew and John. Okay, so Drew got him.
Oh, that sucks, Drew.
Sorry,
Anyway.
Drew.
Sucks for you, guy.
Um,
Oh yeah. So, anyways,
Bowl
how do
prediction.
you?
That was good because he used the Cartman gif earlier. So that was very topical. Well done.
You're welcome.
Super Bowl picks. You had.
Yeah. So Falcons, Raiders. The AFC is actually really tough. Everyone kind of penciled the Patriots in. There's 3 teams in the AFC West that have legitimate chance between the Broncos, Raiders, and Chiefs. You've got the Steelers, who, first of all, fuck them. But second of all, they are pretty good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So.
Well, I think it's hard to bet against the Patriots, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
It is. It's
if
really hard.
If I'm watching a playoff football game and Tom Brady is playing, if I had to put my money on it, I would put my money on him.
Yeah, most people would. Most people definitely would.
We're probably never going. We will never see a coach quarterback combo ever as good
No.
as Belichick and Brady. Ever.
No, that's definitely like a once in a lifetime thing for sure. I just think, man, the Raiders are that team this year that's just
I hope
destined.
you're right, dude. I would love to see that.
I would love to see them do that before they left Oakland too. That'd be a really great send
Marshawn
off.
Lynch back in the Super Bowl.
Oh my,
Did you
come
see
on,
him dancing on the
dude!
sideline?
Marshawn Lynch is
great.
just amazing.
The
see
league
him
loves
dancing
him.
on the
Yeah,
sideline?
the league
He's
loves
so
him. The
great.
NFL loves him.
He's amazing. He's so good, and he can do whatever he wants. Like he's one of the guys that can actually get away with doing whatever
Yeah,
he wants,
yeah.
unlike a lot of the other guys in the
I mean,
league.
he literally retired for a year and then came back.
And then was like, yeah, I'm only coming back if you release me from my contract so I can play for the Raiders. Otherwise, I'm not.
I'll just say whatever and just go.
And just
I'll
say,
be
fuck
fine.
it, I'll go riding bikes in Ireland or some weird
Yeah.
shit. So,
Tony, what's your predictions?
Oh man. I'm going to be really boring and just say the Patriots are going to win it again because
Ew.
Against who?
pick somebody.
in the NFC. Who are like the top 5 NFC teams?
Yeah,
rattle
I
off
might
some names.
accidentally pick 2 from the same conference
So,
because I can't even tell you.
God, it's a good thing you guys have me on.
I at least know that much.
All right, so from the NFC East, your contenders essentially Cowboys, Eagles. I don't think the Redskins or Giants are contenders. NFC South is actually probably the most evenly balanced. Carolina, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, and Atlanta. So that division's really tough. All 4 of those teams are actually pretty good. New Orleans probably the worst team out of all those teams.
Well, I'm not going to say Atlanta.
Drew Brees
anyway,
sucks.
'cause That was last
Fuck
year.
him.
Yeah, but I mean, those are definitely 2 of the best teams as well. NFC West, definitely down. Seahawks are definitely still the class of that division for sure, but definitely down. And then your NFC North, Packers, Lions, Vikings are definitely all pretty good. But I don't see any of those teams beating the Falcons.
Not the Packers?
Nope. Falcons just worked the Packers this past week. Did you see the game?
No, I didn't watch it. No.
Worked. Not even close. Made Aaron Rodgers look pedestrian.
Well, that's what I hate.
Pedestrian, like some sort of pedestrian,
I really hate when
like a civilian.
Aaron says Patriots over Tampa Bay is Aaron's prediction.
Tampa
Ooh,
Bay, fuck
that-
off.
Jameis Winston, dude.
I respect the
he's-
Tampa Bay call, but honestly, what a cop out to pick the Patriots.
I don't think it's a cop.
That's
out.
such a cop
Well,
out.
Aaron's picking him because he's got money on him. We went to Vegas. He put money on him.
Yeah, and so I guess you're allowed if you put money on it, but the Patriots are a cop out, man. That's too easy. That's too easy. That's like, oh, dude, okay, well, the Warriors are gonna. Oh, no shit, the Warriors.
Well,
are
we
gonna-
all know that because the NBA has like 3 good teams.
All
and
right,
the rest of them are terrible.
let's wrap this up. You're going Patriots and who?
Cowboys.
Okay.
I'm calling it.
Patriots, Cowboys.
Calling it right now.
All right, fine.
Gators going Bengals, Steelers.
I'm gonna go. Well, I was gonna go Atlanta, Green Bay, but that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, you
'cause-
can't do
nope,
that.
can't do it.
Yeah.
They won't allow it.
I'm
Roger
gonna
Goodell
go.
will not allow it.
I'm gonna go Atlanta, and then we're gonna start guessing here at different conferences.
Remember that time that I named all the good teams in the AFC like 5 minutes ago?
Well, yeah, but now I have to pick one that isn't in
AFC.
the ones you said.
Yeah.
You
so
said NFC. Now I have to
I
pick
actually
AFC.
named all the teams, literally. But it's okay.
Jaguars.
You can pick, like, essentially Chiefs,
Oakland.
Raiders, Patriots, Steelers, Broncos. Those would be, like, your
Fuck it.
favorites.
I'll go Baltimore.
Wow.
Dark horse. Joe
Yeah.
Flacco, elite quarterback.
Elite. That,
Elite.
I just want that conversation to keep going.
You want to know what is elite about Joe Flacco? How fucking stupid his eyebrows look.
Also, how messed up his back is.
LOL.
LOL. Moving on. We've got Brian, who went with Deshaun Watson,
Watson.
Oh, that's great.
which was the Thursday night game against Andy Dalton.
Yeah, it sure was. We were there for that.
And Brian got fucked.
Well, he's the one who picked Deshaun Watson.
He is.
Nobody forced him to pick Deshaun Watson. So I would not say that he got fucked.
That's fair.
I would say that, you know what, Commissioner? That's what you get.
Pick better.
Pick better.
Get good.
Get
good.
good, son.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, without that, 50-yard touchdown run? I mean, things would have
Yeah, it would have been totally different. So,
So get better.
yeah. So don't you have to just know.
Get
Sorry.
slightly better.
Don't be
Brian
shitty.
says he was robbed, hoodwinked, and bamboozled.
He was, but a 40-yard touchdown run was historic for the league.
First one ever since the inception of the league.
Right.
At least on guys that we picked. There might have been a quarterback that
True.
we didn't pick that got one.
But how often does a 50-yard
I couldn't
run touchdown?
I mean,
happen?
literally,
It's so
other
rare.
than like Mike Vick, I couldn't even remember the last time that
God, I
happened.
wish he was back in the league.
Samesies.
I wish he was back abusing dogs, honestly, though.
Yeah, seriously, he was better than.
Yeah, pit bulls, dude.
So
fuck
who's
'em.
Houston going up against?
This week?
At New England.
Oh,
Do you just know that off the top of your head?
Nope, I'm looking at my computer.
Sick.
I wouldn't doubt it if you did though. Deshaun might be a real good pick this week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Watson
Yeah.
is going to be a pretty good pick. Here's the thing about the Texans, though; they're going to try to run the ball a lot. So,
Good point.
Yeah,
is
they might
he
mitigate
going to be a
damage.
top 4 or 5 guy? I personally don't actually think so
That's a good
because
point.
I think somebody more like you know what? I'm going to keep that name to myself
Yeah,
because
keep
he's
it,
the
keep
guy
it.
that I want this week. So I'm going to keep that personal
Honestly,
that one name to myself.
me
But-
being in the 5 or 6 spot this week was a real tough decision to go after this Thursday QB. If I was any higher, I wouldn't have gone after Hoyer.
exactly.
But and any lower I would have, but I wouldn't have gotten him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I was in a good spot to get Hoyer. I think it'll end up all right, but that's besides the point. Brian's upset that we're going on a tangent again.
Brian loves it.
He loves it.
He's going to have to love it.
He is. He informed me that Mariota. Well, first of all, Austin's banned. He says.
Banned from what?
You
I'm
get-
here.
You get minus 16 points. He says.
You don't get to decide shit.
This is
I don't know who
this
you
is-
think you
this
are.
Is tyranny. But he did say that Mariota ran an 80-yarder 4 years ago, which I would say not relevant because it happened before this league started, which means it doesn't exist in football history.
Yeah, literally doesn't even exist.
This league did start 4 years ago, but it was
It did?
yeah.
This is year 4?
This is year 4. I
Well,
won.
if it happened 4 years ago, then it didn't.
It didn't happen since the league started, and that's a fact.
This is year 4?
I've
Damn.
I
proclaimed.
won, you won, Drew won, and then
Oh, yeah. Oh, cool.
now
Okay.
we're on.
You
season
want to know
4.
who definitely didn't win?
Austin.
Austin.
Yeah,
Austin
Austin.
did
Where are you
not
at
win.
in the standings? I think you're dead last.
No, dead last
You're
again.
dead last.
Yeah, here we are.
Okay.
And listen, it's Josh McCown's fault.
It is
What
Josh
am I
McCown's
supposed to
fault.
do?
It's not on you.
I mean,
blame
you have to pick him if he's there at number
Pound,
2.
Pound Town.
No Pound Town. Anti-Pound
Never
Town.
Pound Town.
Next up was me with Marcus. It's a me, Mariota. Fantastic nickname, if I do
Just
say so
tooting your own-
myself. I
tooting
am.
your
I'm
own,
gonna toot it.
Your own horn over
Toot,
here.
toot, motherfuckers. Anyway, he ended up getting me 10 points.
9.7. Don't exaggerate.
Whatever. But he was doing really well until one last drive got him an extra touchdown. I was about to get 20 points, but whatever.
Whatever, dude.
I'm okay with the 10 points. Not the worst thing ever in the world.
I'm staying far away from Mariota this year because
too.
I'm very high on the Titans. I think that they're going to have a solid crew, and I think that they are going to be a playoff team this year.
It was just them going up against who did they play last week? Jacksonville, and what they showed in
stiff Jacksonville.
Hey,
defense.
what they showed week 1 was solid. It was solid, man.
They played against. It might as well have been a middle school offense in the first week.
And
I
still got more points than Austin.
Houston's
Just wanna point that
offense
out.
is for sure, but Houston's offense is fucking putrid. They needed a lucky play from their quarterback just to be able to beat the Bengals, who can't even score a touchdown.
All right, fine. If Jacksonville's so bad and Mariota still got me 10 points, what happens when Mariota goes up against New England or the Ravens or someone with a solid defense? Then are you looking at him?
Unless I have
top 5D.
Not unless I'm one of the bottom 3 picks.
Fair.
Okay.
Fair.
You know what upset me is I was between him and Dak Prescott, and I should have went with Dak Prescott.
Well, at pick number 12, I also thought about Prescott because I'm sure he was still there, right? He didn't get drafted.
No, he didn't get drafted, and he got 30 points.
And I was very concerned because Prescott just scares me because of his ability to get out of the pocket and move around. So, but yeah, obviously that would have been.
But them going up against Denver was what made me really consider
on
it.
the road
I
right?
just didn't think that they were going to have to throw the ball a lot. I really expected for
Especially
Dallas
with
to be able to
Zeke
run it a
coming
lot
back in.
better.
Did nothing. I mean, he did.
Well, their
absolutely
whole, they didn't play well as a team, but definitely Ezekiel Elliott played like shit last week for sure.
Does anybody need a beer?
No, but I appreciate it.
We're good. All right, moving on. Marianne had baby back Bortles, who fucking went ham in the bad QB league. Marianne, again, coming from at the bottom of the draft.
You know what?
Tearing shit up.
Can we talk about this for a
Yes,
second?
let's talk.
Tony, I need you back in here. We need to talk about Marianne.
Yeah.
Let's get this bitch out of the league.
Who the fuck do you think you are? Just coming in here and just winning
Who are
and
you?
shit. Who do you think you are?
You know what? She's not watching this.
No, definitely not. But that's why I can say these things.
She might.
That's the luxury of being in first place. You don't have to watch this shit.
No, because you're in first. You're like,
You
I
go
don't
to
need to
bed
listen
early,
to
you get
these
a good
fucking
night's sleep.
peasants.
You wait for your
You
next
listen
pick.
to what you got in your head and nobody else.
So apparently she's just some sort of fucking prodigy.
Yeah.
And I'm over here busting my tail. Can't even figure it out. Josh McCown can't even get me some fucking
We
points.
gotta figure out what kind of collusion she's getting from Cam.
Yeah, this is,
Or
you know what?
Some inside info.
Commissioner Goodell, a.k.a. Commissioner Rankin, I need you to open a special investigation.
case.
By the way, are you claiming that because she's female, she's not able to make good
No,
picks? Okay.
I'm not.
Just
She's
checking.
in plenty
Why,
of other
why would
leagues.
you even bring that up?
I'm just trying to check your privilege.
I'm just saying.
I'm just asking who the fuck she thinks she is.
Who does she think
Aaron
she
Carnival
is?
quoting a famous Conor McGregor quote, "Who the fuck is this girl?"
Who the fuck?
That's exactly right.
Who is she?
How can you just walk in here and not even know the rules and just be like and just win?
Well, I need to see 3 straight weeks of negative points for Marianne. I need to see it.
At this point, it's going to be hard. I mean, there's some people in this league who are already 60 points down.
Yeah, I am.
It's Austin at dead last.
Austin is.
I
By the
wasn't trying
way,
to name anyone
Fucking
by
dick.
name.
let's bring this up. Austin's not gonna like it, but Marianne is crushing the draft value statistic.
Yep, literally irrelevant.
Okay, let's talk about the draft value statistic.
Please.
Austin, what's your beef with
What's
the
your
draft,
beef?
draft value?
It doesn't mean anything. It literally doesn't mean a single thing. And Gator's gonna be like, no, it tells you. No, it
what is
doesn't
Gator
mean
gonna be?
shit.
Don't make Gator's argument for him.
No,
What is it- what is-
Gator and I have argued about this so many times that we know each other's
Well, let's get
arguments.
it
We
on.
have.
Let's get it on wax. Let's hear what Gator's argument is.
All right, go ahead, Gator.
What I want to say is that Austin just seems upset because the draft value statistic doesn't play in his favor.
Definitely not.
Okay, let's look at 2016 statistics.
So
Oh wow, he's got it pulled up from last year too.
your
What a
take
dick.
would be that if Austin was higher up in the rankings of the draft value statistic, he would be a
maybe,
big fan.
maybe. Who
Of it.
knows?
Are you calling Austin a hypocrite?
I'm gonna call him a bandwagon draft value fan. You can call him a bandwagon fan.
Have
I
I?
call him that because he's never ever been a fan of it.
How can
Because
I be
he's
a
never
bandwagon if
been on
I'm?
the
It's well
positive side.
documented. It's well documented.
Yeah. So
is.
how could I be on the bandwagon if I've never actually jumped onto the bandwagon?
Point.
However, Austin did end with a positive number last year of 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
So that means he wasn't great. He wasn't the. It
Guess,
wasn't
guess
the
where I
worst.
finished in the standings?
Pretty low.
Yeah.
Well, you're also pretty
second to last,
Well,
third
you're
to last.
pretty low in the draft value standings too. Alex had the top by far, and then me, and we were up there.
Oh, how
okay?
convenient.
We were up there.
Gators number
Real
2.
convenient.
What do you think about that?
Austin zoned
Here's-
out. He's-
I literally wasn't even listening. I was watching the game. Okay, so here's the deal with this stupid statistic, right? So it all depends on where you magically start based off of Gator's stupid fucking dog picking treats out of some fucking cup. Like that is some normal way
No,
of
it
picking
doesn't.
the
Well,
order.
To be fair,
yes,
though,
it does.
That's just for 1 week out of the 16 or 7, however many we do. Do we do 17? I forget.
I don't
16.
know.
16.
I'm not the commissioner.
Yeah.
I'm just a guy.
That's
16.
just one. That's just 1 week. So that can't affect.
Yeah, but you automatically started at a huge disadvantage.
No, you don't. It's not a huge disadvantage.
It's actually an advantage because you can gain spots.
Yeah.
If you're the last pick.
This doesn't mean anything.
Well,
It tells you how
it means
good.
something, but it just doesn't mean anything for like the amount of points that you score.
And
It means-
I'm sorry, what was literally the only thing that mattered?
Yeah. So
Literally
listen,
only one thing in the entire world matters, and it's how many points you score.
I can't argue with that.
I'll agree. It means nothing as to where you end up at the end of the season. No, because there is only one thing that matters, and that's how many points you score.
Mm-hmm.
But what this is going to tell you is how good you are at
Relative
finding
to your
value.
draft position compared to where you pick the player. Yeah, dude, I know.
Point proven.
Whatever.
Austin made
Don't
my
give
case
a
for me.
shit.
Oh,
Don't
man.
care.
So Austin doesn't care about the statistic. That's all.
Brian claims that Austin just doesn't understand the statistic.
Oh,
I literally understand it exactly. Like I literally exactly understand it. Actually,
Aaron's take is a little different. He says that the fantasy universe is against you, Austin.
this is true. Dating back to the last, think about. Well, it really started with the Peyton Manning broken neck year. So that's really when the fantasy bad luck really
This
started.
is true. For those
As
of you who
Tony
don't
tries
know,
not to spit take all over his mic.
Yeah.
that would be catastrophic. For those of you who don't know, Austin, in the year that Peyton Manning ended up missing the entire season due to a neck injury, we held our draft a couple weeks before the season
Like
started.
way early.
Like it was at least 2 or 3 weeks before the season started, and Austin picked Peyton Manning very early, first round. Was it first round or? It was early.
It was like first or second round, and the prognosis was he might be out for a couple of weeks,
Right.
maybe.
And then like immediately after the draft, they're like, "Oh, he's out for the whole year."
Well, he got put on the PUP list set to return, and then I was like, all right, so it'll be like week 7 or 8, and then like after that, it was like, yeah, he's just not coming back at all.
Sorry, he's never
Yup.
gonna play again.
So that was a 3-10 year for my squad. And ever since then, there's always one injury at least
some
every
bullshit.
single year that derails me, including the year that I by far had the best team in our D-Lo league, won the league clear by 2 games in the regular season, and then all of my running backs get injured on the first quarter of the first round of the playoffs,
But
and I lose to the
you
8th
have
seed.
0 injuries in this league, and you need some injuries in this league to help you out.
Do you see how fucked
Yeah,
up
I'm
it is?
trying to help you out here.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to help
it's-
you out.
It's all sorts
All right.
of
The
crazy.
fantasy gods know the scoring systems. They understand.
They know.
Getting back to our league here,
They know.
the last one in the draft, Tony, Eli, hand me down Manning. Tony's right up there with Marianne, doing very well.
Yeah.
Eli Manning is going to be an amazing pick all year long.
So my mentality, having the 12th pick, I was very scared, as Austin knew.
Hey,
The first week, he knew
same.
how tough it was to be in a 12th spot. I was going back and forth between Manning and Prescott, and I ultimately landed on Manning because I know how fucking terrible the Giants are this year.
Either way, you would have been fine.
Yeah, I would have been fine either way. But my goal with that 12th pick is just positive points. That's all I was trying to do, because I didn't want to end up picking Prescott and have him have some crazy play where he would
Yeah,
erase a bunch of points that he had
Manning's not going to
accumulated.
do that.
And I knew that Manning would at least make a few mistakes, and I think that that's usually how he is. He's just sort of like, he's consistent, but he's never going to like go off. So that was kind of my mentality with Manning, and I think it ended up working out for him.
Speaking of Prescott, the other two undrafted quarterbacks this week were Carson Wentz and Cam Newton.
I thought about Wentz for a hot second, but I think he's a really solid quarterback.
Yeah.
Those are two guys I would never pick.
Yeah. Newton, I'm not picking.
Never pick those
Both
guys.
scored above the average. Newton had 19 points.
Sometimes, though, there's like Tom Brady actually is a guy who will actually get a lot of points in our league.
Last year he was only on there once.
Well,
only on the top undrafted once.
Maybe not in the top 3, but he's a guy that
cumulative.
consistently over the course of the season get positive points.
Well, it's like the Peyton Manning example, like how at the end of the season he would end up in like the top, I don't know, 6 or 7.
Carson Palmer, not Peyton Manning.
Well, Peyton Manning in his last season had quite a few points because he wasn't very good, but like he was a guy who people were scared to pick because he's Peyton Manning.
Right.
So it's like sometimes just a guy who throws a lot, who is up against a good defense, is a decent pick.
Right.
But it's just, it's all case by case basis.
Sure
All right.
is.
So if none of us are drafting for, well, I don't want to do that. Okay. Let's say you're drafting last. Okay. Let's say you're drafting last this week. Who do you think is a good pick at the bottom of the 12 spot? Who do you think is gonna go?
Give me a second here.
Who is the last pick this week? So Marianne is the last pick. Did she have the most
I
points?
believe so.
Nope, it was Tom.
Tom is the last.
Tom.
pick.
Yeah. Tom.
Okay. So Marianne, Aaron, and Tom are the last 3 picks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because I had talked about last year how 10 was the perfect amount of players in this league, and then the last podcast I talked about how 12 is actually fine, but I failed to realize that there's bye weeks throughout the season. So when we get into the bye weeks, there's going to be a real problem with these last 3 picks in the league. But anyway, to answer your question, if you're picking towards the end,
All right.
I mean,
I've got a guy that I'm looking at towards the end of the draft here.
I think.
Would you like for me to go?
You go ahead,
Yeah,
Austin.
go ahead.
Jameis Winston.
Ooh.
Game on the road at Minnesota. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers without Doug Martin like to air the ball out. And Jameis Winston is the definition of a gunslinger.
Oh, yeah.
So he's about to throw that thing all around the field. Minnesota's got a top 5, top 6 defense in the league on the road. Not really sure how affected all those guys in Tampa Bay are after all the hurricanes and everything that's been going on down there. That stuff easily could still be on their mind, which would be super understandable. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it is, but I'm not saying it's not either. So I would say Jameis Winston, and fuck it, Phil Rivers.
I was just gonna say,
Phil fucking Rivers.
I
Like,
think Phil
those are the
Rivers.
guys, dude.
Phil Rivers against that Kansas City
Yeah,
defense.
because Kansas City is a baller
even
defense.
At home, I think Kansas City is a good ass team.
Phil Rivers is a guy, and Gator and I have talked about this a few times. He's a guy that I'm super high on at the end of our draft every week.
Yeah,
I agree.
Because he's a dude that will either do what happened to me in the first week and he'll throw 3 touchdowns and I'll get screwed, or he'll throw 3 picks and have a bunch of sacks, and he will be the reason they lose the game.
Right.
So
He's a flip of a coin.
exactly.
For me, I'm gonna go. I know Mariota scared everyone last week, but Mariota against Seattle. Seattle's got a strong defense, and I'm not as high up on Mariota as you guys.
That's fair. I think the problem I also like Seattle's defense as well, but game pace wise this year they're going to struggle because their offensive line is so bad that they're going to have a tough time moving the ball. So that's what worries me more about Seattle. Their defense I think is fine, but their offense is severely damaged.
Which brings up a point. Russell Wilson isn't off the table in my opinion.
He's not a guy who really ever gets picked in this league. But yeah,
I don't know if he's ever been picked once.
It's tough
has
because
anyone ever picked Russell Wilson? I don't know if anyone's ever.
Last season he was in top undrafted 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
yeah, he's a tough one to pick because obviously
He's got the run.
Obviously, he can run that ball, and he's a guy who could break that 40-yard run that would really
he
screw you
generally
over.
takes care of the ball, at least from what my
Most
perception
of the time.
Yeah.
The thing is about him this year is their offensive line is. I mean, the Seahawks and the Bengals
two worst
refuse to adjust their offensive lines
Yeah.
for whatever the reason is. Makes no sense. And so Russell Wilson is a guy who's going to get sacked a lot. He's probably not turning the ball over a lot. They're probably not airing it out 40 times a game, so he's not going to get a ton of incompletions, I don't think, either. Having said that, with as bad as their offensive line is, That definitely makes him more prone to fumbling the ball. It definitely makes him more
Rushing and
prone to rush.
incompletion.
Yes, into rushes throws. Maybe throw a few more interceptions, things of that nature. So we'll see. Obviously, they don't have elite receivers in Seattle either, getting open. I mean, when Doug Baldwin's your number one, I mean, come on.
You got problems.
Yeah,
Come on.
so.
What about Paul Richardson, dude?
Yeah, he's like what, their second or third best receiver? Yeah, he's like a bottom of the roster guy
I've
in
not
just
heard
about
of him
every league.
Until after
Last
week
year.
one.
That's something that I think we overlook is shitty wide receivers.
Yeah.
Because the one thing it leads to is a Kansas City situation where you only throw your tight end or you run it 1,000 times.
Right.
Or they do try and throw it to their wide receivers and they drop everything.
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing. You gotta weigh the fact if that their shitty wide receivers are going to force them to run the ball or if they're actually going to give them a chance.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at a team like the Browns, I mean, already Kaiser is a good pick. They just lost Coleman, right? I mean, he broke his wrist or whatever.
Last week, their receivers
broke the same hand that he broke last year.
Their receivers looked like garbage.
Well, yeah,
dropping balls in wide open field.
That's because
and
they
I
are
mean,
garbage.
and Kenny Britt is a guy who drops a lot of balls in a wide open field.
Kenny
so
Britt also doesn't try.
dude, fuck Kenny Britt.
Literally, they should cut him just because he's a piece of shit.
They signed him to a huge ass
I
contract.
think
What
even
a
Brian is
joke.
a fan of
Brian's pissed.
Brian says Rashard Higgins is taking over as a wide receiver for the Browns. And I say, fucking who, dude?
Yeah. Brian, listen to yourself speak, and that's the exact thing that's wrong with the Browns.
Just to catch up on chat, Aaron is vehemently disagreeing with the Jameis Winston pick. He says Jameis is the best, number one QB, MVP.
Number one.
He is number one QB.
He's Kenny Kawaguchi,
He's Kenny
number one.
Kawaguchi, number one
QB.
Brian says Higgins went 10 for 100 last week. Well,
Okay, first of all, his full name is Rashard Malik Hollywood Higgins.
Get
so fuck you.
Fuck you.
He went to Colorado State. He's 22 years old. Is he a rookie this year or a second-year player?
22. He's got to be a rookie, right?
Yeah, I mean, he could be a second-year guy. He was born in 94. That makes you feel old, I bet.
Good Lord.
Tony, can you
Yeah, I mean, dude, if that's going to be the guy that you're depending on, Brian, just stop. Throw it to your boy Njoku or whatever.
I don't know what this is, dude.
I think it's time to move on to who's that quarterback. Did both of you already see who it is?
No, I actually didn't.
I did, so I'm not going to guess.
Well, I didn't see who it was.
You swear you
honestly,
didn't?
but I'll let the crew guess before.
Okay, can they see? They can see
Yeah,
what's.
we
Can they see
will,
that?
No, hold on. Let me fix
Well,
this.
Tony definitely
Okay,
just
now
saw
I know
who
who
it
it is. Sorry, we're dealing with some technical.
Well, despite
issues
all my
here.
hard work, despite who's that QB has been ruined.
Okay, well, check this out. Oh, baby.
What is that?
Here we go. Here we go, folks.
All right.
Oh,
I
no.
hope.
Oh no.
I hope you are all
Don't
ready.
look.
Don't. Oh my God.
Oh, what a nightmare.
Tony.
What a nightmare. Who's it gonna be
For-
this time?
First, Gator
Get
can't
it
even
off the
have it ready.
screen.
Second of all, Tony can't even get it up on the screen.
Which one are they seeing, man?
They're
Yeah.
seeing what's on this monitor right here.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
All right.
All right.
Who
well,
is it?
This is gone. All right. Send in your guesses.
They need some hints or something.
Yeah, so let me. Well, all right, just like we did last week, just based off looks, send in a couple guesses,
Guys, who is it?
and then I don't have many clues.
It's well,
You guys can help me come up with some clues right now. Last week he threw for 14 incompletions.
he's quarterback of the future,
Don't what?
in my opinion.
That's one way to put it. Maybe for the future of this league.
Good point.
All right, let's get a couple guesses in before we reveal any more clues.
Yeah.
It says it's a tough cream pie.
Yeah, nailed it. Right on the head
Anything, Tony? We got anything coming in?
Man, I can't.
Ooh, it's
no.
dead crowd
No-
out there.
No guesses so far.
The university that this individual went to was in the wonderful state of Florida.
Tim Tebow. That's my guess.
Tim Tebow, shout out.
Hey, man.
I might just
they
pick
don't have
him
to be
next week.
playing.
Fuck it.
They don't have to be
It could
playing
be
currently.
Jameis Winston.
He could be
Could
any
be.
quarterback. What are we feeling?
Well,
Proud?
that was gonna ruin my next hint.
What was your next hint?
Don't
I can't.
don't
say
ruin it. Don't ruin it.
Brian says Tebow.
All right.
Aaron says Rillip Pivers. Rillip Pivers.
Well,
Sorry.
Phillip Rivers played college
NC
football
State.
at NC State, so that's not in Florida.
All right. Here's my next guess. If I were going one next week, I would take him first.
Brian says Mariota.
Mariota played at Oregon. Good try.
Brian knew that. Brian
on,
knows
Brian.
that.
Come on, Brian.
Come
You're
on,
better
man.
than that. Let's see. What other clues can we give?
He's got a big dumb face.
He has the dumbest face. Well, not the dumbest, but it's a
No.
top 5 dumb face for
Lauren
sure.
says Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston. Okay.
Um,
Can I give the hint that will ruin that or no?
no.
Okay.
One more good hint here.
Here's a hint.
He
Aaron says Dalton.
okay. Dalton played at TCU, so that's in Texas.
My hint was going to be there's a emoji that you could use for his name.
Oh yes, there is a good emoji for his.
Yeah.
That might be too much of a hint.
Well, I'll go one more that might give it away. It'll narrow it down to two quarterbacks.
Okay.
This is one of the quarterbacks that I photoshopped last year and put into the group me. One of the
Cool.
two.
I don't remember you photoshopping anything last year.
Okay. Oh, then it's a good.
That's a good one. You have to
clue.
scroll through your group me and reload all those chats.
All right, we're gonna give it just a couple more minutes. Let a couple more votes come in, and you'll get another coupon. All right, coupon.
Another coupon. Brian wants us to shut up about college.
I was trying to give you hints.
Right.
You know, I just
He
you know,
also
was trying to
says
help
he
out.
doesn't want to guess because he saw it when the game started. So at least he's on.
Oh, it did come up on the screen
yeah,
then.
because it did.
I knew it. So my hint was going to be that he's a white quarterback, so that would take Jameis Winston out of the equation.
Aaron says bubble fart Bortles,
Okay,
and Brian says squirts.
squirts. Well, I think they both got it.
And the big
Nailed
reveal,
it.
Maybe,
Oh God, Tony.
maybe there'll be a review.
Jesus, Tony.
Oh,
We are
Christ.
Boo.
Next. Hey, there he is.
It's Blake Bortles.
Hey.
Squirtle.
I gotta say, I liked your Carson Palmer picture better from last week.
I was in a rush. Okay, I was in a rush.
Okay, Gator, thank you for that segment.
Well, so let me talk about him a little bit.
Okay,
Jeez.
sorry.
Yeah, let's shit on him a
The
little bit
reason I
more.
brought him up
All
is
right.
because last week he was our number one bad QB, coming off of a good first week, and like I said, I'm gonna pick him. If I'm number one, I'm picking him this week again, going up against the Ravens. And I know the Ravens have only played some real shit teams, but they're gonna play another shit team. Can we talk about how easy the Ravens' opening schedule is?
Yo, this is fucking bullshit. To be fair, they did open up on the road, but still,
At Cincinnati, who
it's
we thought was not
allegedly
gonna be shitty.
supposed to
So,
be good.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I mean, yeah.
I think if you're number one, number two, Bortles is going again, no question.
It wouldn't be a bad pick. I'll say that much.
The Ravens have looked good. They've penetrated the line.
They're really into
Penetrated.
penetration. They like it
They
a lot.
really love it.
They love
They've
penetration.
gone for it. Well, we do have one more news segment now for you.
Do we instead of before we get into that, do we want to maybe give an update on the stats of the current game going on tonight?
Sure. Let's,
Yeah,
that's a
I
great
haven't
idea.
even checked.
Yeah, I've got it up.
Oh,
Don't
and
you
our,
worry.
Our stream
Please
has
let me know.
frozen. Okay.
No, it's
we're
not.
good.
It's
We're
on
good.
the
moving people,
review
Tony.
here.
Excuse.
So whoever picked Jared Goff, I'm sorry, that was a terrible pick. 19 for 24, so only 5 incompletions, 251 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions, no sacks.
Dog, Goff might be off the list this year.
Dude,
He has
people
not
forget
performed.
Jared Goff was a number 1 overall pick that the
Right.
Rams traded a bunch of picks to move up
They
for.
wanted him bad.
So last year was bad because he was on a bad team, rookie year, shit offensive line, shit coach Jeff Fisher. See you later. But
See
yeah,
ya.
he's gonna do a lot better this year. Aaron and I were talking about that earlier today, actually. I think Jared Goff is definitely going to have a much better year this year.
I would agree. I think Sammy Watkins is a good addition.
Yeah, he's okay as long as he doesn't, hurt himself every week or whatever. And then for San Francisco, Brian Hoyer, currently 13 for 20, 179 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception, and 3 sacks.
I'm okay with that right now.
So he's got a decent line going. Brian Hoyer's my boy, so I'm not going to talk shit about him. Go Green.
No, this year he's my boy for the bad
Did
QB
Hoyer
league.
go to MSU?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Dude, that lineage of quarterbacks, we got Drew Stanton in the league, shout out. Brian
Drew
Hoyer
Stanton,
in the
dude.
league, shout out. Kirk Cousins in the league, shout out. Shout out to the whitest QBs in the league, all from Michigan State.
That's what's up, dude.
Well, Hoyer's got me
Connor Cook also.
just under 10 points, and right now I'm okay with sitting right there. It's those are positive numbers. If he throws a touchdown, I'm fucked, but we'll see. See how it
Yeah,
goes.
but he'll probably fuck up at least one more time before
Yeah,
the game's
I can-
over.
I
He's
can do that.
destined for it.
I can
So
do that.
it's the Niners.
Aaron says Goff is a pretty good QB, y'all fellas.
Y'all fellas, y'all.
Shout out, y'all
And,
fellas, y'all.
Aaron says anytime Austin says my boy or shout out, he went to MSU.
Oh, yeah. Aaron is picked up on the social cues very
knows.
well.
That is an
He knows.
astute observation, Aaron.
Good job, Aaron.
I'm gonna start saying my boy went to C State.
Oh, yeah, Zeke. What, do you get 9 rushing yards?
No,
this
I'm
week?
talking about Cincinnati State, man.
Oh, Cincinnati.
So no one.
All my boys.
All those NFL players.
So you'll see
no one.
this year.
All right, so apparently Goff just scored a touchdown, but our stream is behind. So Brian,
We're about to
inform
watch
us.
it.
We're
about to
Yep,
watch it
he,
happen.
he definitely did. 20 for
Third goal
20.
pass.
There it
Yeah.
is. Suck it, Drew.
20 for 25, 2
Eat
touchdowns.
a dick, Drew.
Who's number 12?
Irrelevant.
It's not Watkins.
Where all those stats now, boy?
Is it Watkins?
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
Todd Gurley and
One
Sammy
line.
Watkins have receiving touchdowns.
All right, Tony. What's this brand new?
Okay, so we got a new segment that we're calling I don't know
This
if it-
week in bad QB history.
Yeah, that's what we're calling it. This week in bad QB history. So what we're doing for this segment is we're going to
good.
find a quarterback in the week that we're about to play in who has had a historically bad week. So
And next week we could even combine the two segments. Have me do who's that QB, and then it be about
yes, it doesn't.
bad-
You're right. It doesn't have to be an active QB
Right,
necessarily. I like that.
We'll work on that.
We'll talk about that after the show.
Yes, we will.
Wow.
So this week we have the wonderful Ryan Leaf.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah,
This is
baby.
amazing.
I think a lot of you guys would remember as having an extremely short career, being a guy who was picked in front of Peyton Manning.
yeah, he did a lot of coke.
He did have drug problems after he retired, especially. I think actually fairly recently he was arrested for possession of some sort of substance. But he's got his life back on track, actually. I don't know if you've
Allegedly.
seen. I've heard that he's back on track. But when he was not on
there.
track was in 1998 in Week 3 against the Chiefs, where he went 1 for 15 for 4 yards.
wow,
With 2 picks, 2 sacks, 3 fumbles.
dude. You started off with a great this week in bad QB.
You are absolutely correct.
You know what would be fantastic if we could get how they would score.
Wouldn't that be
Please tell me.
fantastic, Gator?
Please tell me you
Wouldn't
did
that
it.
be
Tony,
fantastic?
Why don't you
please tell
just
me you did it,
If
tell me?
Tony.
we could get the actual scoring
Yes.
of how he did in
3
if he was
fumbles.
in our league.
Thank
That's
you,
amazing.
Tony.
This is a little bit, and I'm going to keep stalling so I can pull this up, is what it would look like.
This is great, Tony.
So he's going to end up with 42 points.
Guys.
Which,
He had 15 passing attempts and 3 fumbles.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean,
Was he trying to do
he
that?
actually...
Hall of Fame.
Fun fact: he actually the yardage that was gained after his interceptions was more yards than he completed to his own.
No way.
32 yards. Well, he only had 4 yards.
Yeah, you're right.
passing.
You're right.
So he had 32 interception yards, which was much bigger
That's
than
so
his
funny.
4 yards passing. And I think my favorite part of this entire saga was after the game. He had a little run-in with.
Please
a
tell me you
reporter.
have the video.
And this is what happened.
Oh my God.
After the game. With
Thank
the
you for
reporter.
this.
Don't talk to me, all right? Knock it off!
So his career went pretty poorly, unfortunately for Ryan Leaf. But I gotta say, I truly love the guy for putting up this game because I think it's just one of the funnier NFL games of all time.
That's fantastic. This
I do have his Wikipedia page pulled up, and just to give a quick rundown of his legal situations, which is pretty good.
dude, props to this new host right here.
Listen,
I love it. He's dropping knowledge.
from Wikipedia, he would have legal trouble starting in 2010, when he was sentenced to 10 years of probation for a drug possession.
Fuck.
2 years later, he pleaded guilty to felony burglary and drug possession in Montana.
No.
Yep. He had a suspended sentence with a stint in drug rehab. And then in 2014, he was sentenced to 5 years for breaking into a separate home in Montana to steal prescription drugs.
Dude, this is like that 30 for 30 about the quarterback who had the drug problem. His dad was like super militant dad about becoming a great quarterback, and then he got hooked to drugs, went and played in the Canadian Football League or whatever.
I don't know if I saw that.
It was great, 30 for
Sounds
30.
interesting,
I wish I knew the fucking name of it. Brian, help me out. I think you got it.
Let us know in the chat.
Another fun fact, I found some trivia on Ryan Leaf. I literally typed this in Google and found
Dude,
this.
hit me.
His NFL career spanned from 1998 to 2002, and he only threw 14 touchdowns and 36 interceptions.
No fucking way.
He was historically
Legend.
That's really bad.
Oh, yeah, that's why he's considered the #1 biggest bust in the history of the NFL.
Brian, if you could start working on a bad quarterback Hall of Fame, maybe have separate distinctions for those during the actual existence of this league, and then maybe some like historical bad quarterbacks.
Yeah, so like a BC versus AD type of deal.
Right. Yes. Perfect.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's actually how we're actually going to start judging years now. It's based on. So this is actually
4
just
AD. This is
4
4 AD.
Yeah. So it would be like it would be AI after inception.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
4 AI.
There
All right.
we go. Year 4
Write it
AI.
on your checks, people.
Yep, and your chest.
On your chest. And your checks.
Both of them.
Both of those things.
Well, man,
that's
I
funny.
think that's all we
That's
got.
about it. Austin, do you have any parting words, parting thoughts?
Well, I do want to say thank you for having me on.
Anytime, bud.
Thanks
Super
for coming.
fun. If we do it around this time on Thursdays, I can usually always make it.
We would
so,
love to have you back.
Yeah, that's definitely something we can swing. I'm gonna try to maybe come up with my own unique segment.
Yes.
I would love
Fuck
to see
yes.
another
I don't know
standard.
what it would be, but it's definitely gonna be something ridiculous.
Good.
And just for those of you in the chat, if you would like to be a guest, just please let us know. We will work around your
Also,
schedule.
Actually, from this point on, you have to bring your own segment.
And bring your own
there you
mixer
go.
that can accept a fourth microphone because we're at capacity.
LOL. I do want to. Why don't we? Do you guys? Do we have any questions? Let's maybe go back to the
Yeah.
Maybe,
to
would
the
you guys,
interactive
Perfect.
feed.
maybe if you want
That's
to,
how we should end every.
a couple
every-
minutes
of
for
course.
any questions that you might have, please just let us know.
Or
in
any
the chat.
topics you'd like to discuss.
Maybe I'll pull up. Let's see.
So some big games this weekend. I've got the list of games. Falcons at Lions is going to be a great high-scoring game. We were talking about that before we went on the air, if you will. The air
Is that
question.
a 1 o'clocker?
It is a 1:00 on Fox. We have our Bengals and Packers. That's probably going to be a shit show. Sorry, guys. And not in a good way.
Are we at
for
4
us.
o'clock for that one?
4:25 on CBS.
Oh, that's fantastic. We'll be.
Yo,
back.
Tony Romo's doing the game. CBS has their number
I've
one
heard
crew.
he's been doing really well.
Yeah, so he'll. So it's funny. So I've watched some clips. Like as the quarterback is making it audible, Tony Romo will literally call out the play, and then that's literally the exact play that they
That's
run.
so sick.
It's
You haven't seen
amazing.
this?
No,
It's
I
so
love Tony
funny.
Romo, though.
It's so funny.
You'd love it.
So we do have a question from
What's up?
Aaron. Yin Yang twins or Olsen twins? Which I think is a great question.
Olsen.
My answer would actually
Pre-drug problems or post-drug problems?
For which twin?
be great qualifier. My
Both.
my answer is going off the grid a little bit. I would actually pick Elizabeth Olsen out of all the Olsen sisters. because she is the most talented and the most attractive.
Elizabeth.
The younger sister of the Olsen twins.
I didn't even know that was a
She's
person.
an actress.
Here's the thing: if it's not Mary-Kate or Ashley, it doesn't exist.
Have you
Don't
seen them
care.
lately? They look 50.
Yeah, because they did a bunch
Full
of heroin.
House, bro. Full
I literally
House.
have no idea if
They
that's
look
true.
older than Bob Saget right now.
Fucking Bob
Brian
Saget.
says, which 2017 defense is going to make their opposing QB an auto start, a la Denver Broncos in 2016? So who is the defense that almost no matter who the quarterback's going up against?
This year?
Yeah.
Good question, Brian.
You know what, Brian? I really appreciate that question from you. Well, if anyone would have asked it, I would have appreciated it, but I do appreciate that you asked that. Man, does anybody want to go first on that?
Right now, I'm hot on the Ravens, man. And I know it's kind of a really biased start because of their schedule, but judging based on nothing else but what we've seen, I really like the Ravens.
Okay.
Brian, his input is the Ravens, Jags, Bills, and Lions are currently the top 4 defensive ratings versus the pass.
I think the Broncos need to be mentioned in there.
The Broncos were going to be the team that I was for sure going to say. They made the Cowboys look pedestrian last week. I mean, the Cowboys couldn't do anything. If the Broncos can shut out a team that's, as good as the Cowboys are, you got to think that that's going to continue to carry over. I think Kansas City's defense is going to continue to improve all year.
Yeah.
I do have some bias because I've got them in one of my leagues too, but that's okay. I really do think Kansas City is going to do well. And then I really think people sleep on the Vikings defense.
Well, Mike Zimmer at the helm. That's
Yeah,
a
I just
defensive-minded guy.
they get takeaways. They don't allow tons of points and yards. I just feel like the Vikings are always a really good defense. Obviously, the Texans have a lot of playmakers on their defensive
But the
line.
Texans have not impressed me yet.
No, and the Texans secondary I think has some question marks, but their defensive line is so good to where it almost doesn't even matter.
And they're going to have a lot of pressure on them because of their offense not being
So-
all that great.
We've said a bunch of teams, but pick your team. Mine, Ravens is mine.
Go ahead, Tony.
Austin's convinced me of the Vikings. I'm going to go Vikings.
Okay, if you're going to go Vikings, I'll go Broncos then.
Okay.
Because I was going to go both of those.
I think we got him covered there.
Fair
We got him
enough.
covered.
Aaron says, who do you think will end the season as the best, worst cute quarterback?
That's a great question, Aaron.
And here's the thing about this question is
That's the subjective answer, I feel like.
you got to pick somebody who you think is going to start all this the whole season. Because if it's somebody who's bad enough that they
I
get
got one.
moved or benched by week 6, they're not going to be the best of the year.
You guys ready for my hot take?
I'm so ready.
Bring it.
Dumbass Carson Palmer.
Carson,
We brought him up last week.
the number 1.
Fuck Carson Palmer, first of all.
You might be right there.
Carson Palmer is ass.
You think he's going to stay healthy for the whole season?
If for some reason he does make it through the season, he's going to have the worst year of his career. I totally believe that.
Interesting.
Number 1 worst year of Carson Palmer's career this year.
Wow. His
might-
worst year of his career.
He might retire because he plays so bad.
Damn.
Hot take.
Austin, I was
Damn.
about to say Palmer as well, so I'm going to have to think of someone else.
I can throw another one out there for you who is going to get benched about halfway through the season, but up until that point he'll be great. Mike Glennon.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Bears will move on to the rookie that they drafted, right?
Yeah, Trubisky out of North Carolina with the number 2 overall pick. They traded up precisely one spot, gave up multiple draft picks to move up one spot, and picked Trubisky, who's not even starting.
Does
So,
Hoyer have a solid backup?
I don't even know who Hoyer's backup is.
Then I'm going
Yeah,
Hoyer.
The Niners are an absolute
I'm going
shit
Hoyer.
show. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Josh McCown is going to earn each one of those $125,000 checks, and he's going to start the whole season and finish
You think-
at the top of the list.
So let me ask you, if you're the Jets, why would you start Josh McCown?
Because you have no chance of making the playoffs. So just get through
Right.
get through this season and just
No,
let Josh
so
McCown
you
start.
start your
So don't
two.
don't
so
pay
you-
$125,000 per game.
So you have a guy that you drafted in the second round sitting on your bench as your third QB in Christian Hackenberg, and you have a guy that you drafted the year before, and I believe it was the 4th round, in Bryce Petty out of Baylor. Two really decorated,
Bryce
highly
Petty's
rated.
not going to be anything.
I don't think so either because he played that system in Baylor doesn't translate into the NFL. Literally, when was the last time a Baylor player translated the NFL? RG3 had one good year.
Never.
So Josh Gordon, we don't even need to go there. So we'll see. We'll see about that.
I just
I don't see McCown starting the whole year. I see Hackenberg eventually taking over. Why would you waste a second round pick on somebody just to have them sit on your bench and not play?
So why wouldn't they just start Hackenberg from the beginning?
Yeah, exactly, because the Jets are an incompetent organization.
How early did the Bengals pick McCarron?
Fourth, I think.
Fifth round, fourth round.
All right.
He was never. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean
McCarron was always picked to be Andy Dalton's backup.
Yeah.
The Bengals never had any intention of signing McCarron past his rookie deal. That was the reason that they picked him, because they thought he'd be a good backup, and then after his rookie deal, he'll go get a shot somewhere else, which is probably what's going to end up happening. Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know, but we'll see.
You know, what I like to reflect on every week when we talk about these bad quarterbacks is there's only 32 people in the world playing starting quarterback each week for the NFL. And, boy, there are some bad ones.
there's some real bad ones.
You would think.
It's a testament to how difficult it is to be a successful quarterback.
It really is.
I mean,
really is.
It's got to be one of the hardest things in the world.
Just think about mentally everything that you have to do, and you have to process this information in less than 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Like,
And
literally less than 3 seconds, you have time to process all the information about everything that's going on in front of you. So,
and that would be the argument against getting rid of Andy Dalton, is all the times when he's been, solid or even fantastic. It's like, well, yeah.
What are our options?
Yeah, who
are
are you going to get instead
right.
of him?
So
It's
so
one of
what?
those
So
things.
so are the Bengals going to tank the entire season so they can get a top 5 pick to pick one of these? So that's for the people who don't follow college football. 2018 draft is supposed to be the most loaded quarterback draft class maybe of all time.
Is that right?
Yeah, so you might have 5 QBs drafted in the first 20 picks of
Wow,
the
that
draft.
would be unprecedented.
So you have 3 or 4 for sure first round guys. You have a couple other guys that are fringe first, second
JT
round guys.
Barrett.
JT Barrett is ass, and he will not play
He's
in the
big
league.
time. He's
No,
big man.
Yeah, a big
man's
time.
not
Well,
hot.
he's got to be 28. How
A
many
big
years
time
has he
piece
been
of
at
shit.
OSU?
Big time.
Jesus, dude.
Big time.
Listen, JT Barrett is ass.
He's big shot. Big time.
Big time.
no.
Men not hot.
And it goes skirt.
So there's definitely going to be some teams this year that are tanking Jets just to make sure that they can get one of these guys coming out next year, because this is supposed to be better than the year that Andrew Luck came out, and who was it also Cam Newton that year that came out? That year that Luck came out? Who was that?
You're asking the wrong person.
Or was that RG3 and Andrew Luck?
RG3.
It was RG3 and Andrew Luck. So that was the other draft class that everybody talked about. But this year, man, I'm telling you what, there's 3 quarterbacks out in the Pac-12 that are just balling right now. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't think the Bengals are trying to give up on Dalton. We signed with that 6-year, $100 million extension.
He's in for the long haul.
He is in it for the long haul. We all know that NFL contracts are not guaranteed. Andy Dalton,
They're all written on toilet
Andy
paper.
Dalton's contract is specifically incentive ridden for a reason. So the Bengals don't have to pay him guaranteed money. So I don't think that Andy Dalton is going to be here more than another 2 years, just because I don't think Marvin's going to be here another 2 years. And I really think whoever this next coaching staff coming in is going to want to bring in their own guy. That's just my take on it.
So you think 2020, Dalton's gone. 2019.
By the start of the 2019 year, Andy Dalton will not be the Bengals quarterback.
Wow. Interesting.
With that being said, do we have any more questions?
That's all we got, folks.
That's all we got. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Tony.
Yeah,
You got
No,
anything?
Well, you did, asshole.
I think
I
this is
did.
a great time to end the
sorry.
show. We've been going for quite a while now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'd like to thank everyone for listening. I want to thank Austin for being here.
Absolutely.
Love you guys.
Awesome.
We'll definitely have you back. We
sure,
need
dude.
you back.
Of course. I think Aaron mentioned in the chat that he's down to do it next week. So
Oh, yeah.
you're welcome to join us. I don't have a fourth mic, but we can probably
You
share
can-
mics.
you can
or
stand
Yeah,
in the back.
we can do some rotation action.
Yeah.
We can drink some beers. We don't all 4 have to be on at
Listen,
the exact same
I
time.
can just produce and you guys can go for it.
But if we have
honestly.
all of us on here, then we're running out of viewers.
Yeah.
We're running out of viewers.
It's good that we have Brian. Aaron says he's in next week, so he just
Nice.
said that now. So yeah, maybe I'll just produce next week and you guys can go for it. Just the 3 of you, and we'll have a slicker.
I'll be pretty
transition.
left out of that conversation. But
Yeah, but we need somebody to know the order of
you.
the order of operations. If
Yeah,
you will.
I can make it smooth. So
Yeah, I'm just here for my opinions. I'm not here for the
that's
organizational
what
part.
we brought you in for, bud.
with all that being said, this is the 3-Step Flop. My name is Gator Strand.
And I'm Tony DeLatel.
And I'm Austin Rabah.
Thanks for coming, y'all.
Love you guys.